Okay, I want to call the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for Tuesday, November the 14th to order. And we'll begin tonight with an invocation. I would ask you to join me in standing, and Alderman Barnhill, would you offer that invocation, please?
Would you bow, please? Heavenly Father, we again come to you tonight. Thank you for this blessed community that we live in. We give you thanks for the blessings. We know that you're responsible for those. We ask that you be with all the employees of the city of Franklin. We know that their job is difficult at times, and we ask that you be with them. We especially be with the members of our Public Safety Committee members, because they are on the front lines. We also ask your blessings upon each of us tonight as aldermen, as we make decisions that affect the direction in which the city of Franklin will go. Give us spiritual wisdom and guidance. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. You remain standing for the pledge, and tonight we have Troop 135, Webelos, the Turtle Patrol that meet at Oakview Elementary. So if they'll come up, and I did ask them if each one of them would give their name so that they could.
Of course.
So go ahead and give your name.
My name is Connor Dunham. Cooper Palowich. Brandon Fox.
Sean Ross. Eva Coyne.
Andrew Giannotti.
Okay. Gentlemen, please offer the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's give them a hand for leading the pledge.
Perfect. Lots in the background. Good job.
The next item on the agenda is opportunity for citizens to make comments that are items that are not on the agenda. I have no comment cards for items that are not on the agenda. Okay, are you speaking to a specific item?
Well, is this just for general?
This is for general comments?
Yes, I'm speaking on a specific item.
Okay, if you'll fill one out, we'll get you in just a second. I'll, next, any communications for Williamson County Commission? I see no one here representing them, and we'll move on to approval of the minutes from the October 10th, 2017 work session and October 10th, 2017 Board of Mayor and Alderman.
Move for approval. Second.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. If you'll excuse me just a second. You have 2 minutes.
Hello, thank you for serving our city to all the elected officials. My name is Shannon Ferguson. I live at 365 Snowden Street West here in Franklin. I would like to address the board regarding the Confederate monument that stands right outside this building. In honor and memory of our heroes, both private and chief of the Southern Confederacy, no country ever had truer sons, no cause nobler champions, no people bolder defenders than the brave soldiers to whose memory this stone is erected. These are the words inscribed on one of the sides of the Confederate monument that stands in Franklin's town square. People today often say that we shouldn't remove these monuments because it is erasing history. I would argue that these statues, as they currently stand in our town square, do not represent history. These statues and the words on them are propaganda that convey a revision of history in which traitors who sought to divide this nation, which led to the death of more than 600,000 Americans, are rebranded as heroes and as brave soldiers. The men who sought to divide this nation in two are called its truest sons. That is what the monument in our town square says, and I think that's not history, it's a blatant lie. As a descendant of slaves, I understand very well that propaganda that glorifies the Confederacy in our public spaces is insulting, harmful, and painful to Black Americans. To pretend that the primary objective of the Confederate cause was something other than to defend and protect slavery and then call it noble is deeply hurtful to Black people like me. What you're demonstrating is that you can see past the trauma that slavery inflicted on Black Americans, and you can see a friend and a hero in Chip. And you can even respect the cause for which he fought, since the monument doesn't name it as white supremacy and racism. So I ask you, how many more generations of Black children in Franklin will have the mental struggle of trying to figure out how they can possibly be valued, welcomed, and treated with equality and justice in our lovely city, while the same city glorifies the men who fought to protect a system of white supremacy in which Black people were bought, sold, used, and destroyed at whim? Because that's the reality of slavery in this country. That's the reality of the cause of the Confederacy, which spurred the Civil War. So I understand that the majority of Franklin's white citizens might not want to remove this monument right now, but I pray that our municipal officers will lead the way. If you choose to ignore this issue, it will be a failure of moral leadership. There are times when government should protect not only the powerful majority, but also the minorities who also deserve justice, equality, dignity, and respect. Thank you for listening. Sorry, I was a little nervous. Thank you.
Let's see, I think, oh, excuse me, you have yours, I have mine now. Okay, so I'd like to ask Alderman Skinner if he would come down to the podium tonight, and Mr. Stuckey's going to join me down here. Button your coat up, you're on camera, Mike. Mike joined the board in 2008, and he joined the board at I would say a little bit of a different time. Many of us had just recently been elected and trying to get our feet wet and understand the board, and Mike came in and completed a term of a former alderman. Mike has certainly left an important stamp on the city with many of the things that he's done. I know all of us remember his enthusiasm for the Eastern Flank battlefield, but most importantly, the emphasis he placed on the importance of getting the Loop Road finished before the 150th commemoration of the Battle of Franklin. And Mike's service on many different committees, from the Battlefield Commission to the Sustainability Commission, the Solid Waste, Williamson County Solid Waste Board, and the Stormwater Appeals Board, just to name a few. I think that he can look back many years from now and see his fingerprints continue to remain on many of the things having to do with Franklin, our parks master plan, housing, traffic, and jobs. And Mike, I want to thank you for 10 years of loyal service to our city, and wish you the best in the future. It's not over yet. So, okay, Mr. Stuckey.
All right. Y'all can
I hadn't read the agenda. I was
He tried to slip out.
I was leaving after the cat.
We got to make sure we vote on those minutes. I get the honor of doing some commemorative pieces with us, but I do want to say, to echo what the mayor said, and he said it very, very well. You've served so well, honorably, for 10 years. From a staff perspective, I can say you asked good questions, you challenged us when we needed to be challenged, you supported us when we needed to be supported, but you were always there. One of the things we talked about the other night was 10 years, you didn't miss a single meeting. The one meeting he missed was a joint conceptual workshop, and he missed it because there was a neighborhood meeting in his ward. So he had a pretty good excuse. So that dedication, that diligence, even came to committee meetings that he didn't sit on to understand what was going on and be part of it. So served with great honor, and we've really enjoyed as a team working with you, and you should be very proud of that service and the great progress the community's made under your leadership and as part of our team. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So do you want to do this one?
Yeah, I'll do this one. Michael Skinner, Alderman, 2008 to 2017, and grateful appreciation for your service to our community. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
So we tried to capture some images that represent some times, very important times during your service. We can't capture them all, but there's some interesting ones on here. And your colleagues on the board and from our staff team all left some notes and signatures on there for you. But you'll just see on there's the ribbon cutting for South Carruthers. There is a flipping of the switch for the Christmas tree. Carter Hill Battlefield plan behind there. The governor, when he got the grant for the Loop Road at Eastern Flank. There you are, a part of the Citizens Fire Academy. And so just a number of different memories, and of course the whole board team, you with the group and our official photo. But just wanted to give you this to remember your great service with the city. Thank you. We have to have a photo op.
Actually, these people, they mentioned that I filled in an unfinished term. These are the people that voted for me to come in for that unfinished term. So they're significant. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mike.
It's been an honor to serve, but the people that I've worked with city have made it easy to serve because of the caliber, the intelligence, the drive, and the initiative that they've always shown. So thank you for those 10 years.
We're now ready for item number 3, which is acknowledgement of receipt of the Williamson County Elections Commission's report, 2017 City of Franklin municipal elections. Mr. Stuckey.
Mr. Mayor, Board of Mayor and Aldermen, I want to report officially the certified results of the election concluded on October 24th, 2017. In the election of Alderman Ward 1, a total of 1,017 votes cast. Beverly K. Berger, 552 votes. Michael Phillips, 250 votes. J. Edward Campbell, 215 votes. In the election of Alderman Ward 2, Dana C. McClendon III received 630 votes. Mike Vaughn received 602 votes, a total of 1,232 votes cast in Ward 2. In Alderman Ward 3 election, 1,124 votes cast. Scott Speedy received 852 votes. Michael J. Skinner received 272 votes. In Alderman Ward 4 election, a total of 982 votes cast. Margaret Martin received 582 votes. Elizabeth Downing Wanzak received 400 votes. Mayor, that is the certified election results for the Ward Alderman election. Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda is the administration of the oath of office to the newly elected ward alderman in accordance with City Charter Article 4, Section 4. Tonight, Judge Dina Hood will be swearing in Ward Alderman 1, 3, and 4, and Linnea Benny will be performing the swearing in of Ward 2. So we'd ask that Judge, you need a willing swearer in, don't you?
I do need a willing. If you might, I have maybe just 2 minutes of just words that I want to say to this board. When I was very honored to ask to swear you in tonight. I'm glad to be here and humbled to do this. And in thinking about tonight, I was thinking what it means to be a public servant. And particularly in light of all of the national discord that we have in politics right now, in my 46 years, certainly the greatest that I remember, and why it's so important of what you do. I wish more people understood that what you do at the work table that was here before you came in and what you do on those seats affect Franklin residents in much greater detail in their day-to-day lives than anything that happens and occurs in Washington. I don't think that I have words of wisdom, so I did some research to steal some words of wisdom from others greater than I. And I found a quote that I'd like to read to you before we do your oath. It says, "My creed is that public service must be more than doing a job efficiently and honestly. It must be complete dedication to the people and the city with full recognition that every human being is entitled to courtesy and consideration. That constructive criticism is not only to be expected, but to be sought. And that honor is not earned, that honor is earned, but not bought." That was by Margaret Chase Smith, a former Maine senator. I appreciate what you do for our city, and I'm very honored to swear in, I think, from Ward 1, my alderman, Beverly Berger. Let's go up here. Okay.
Welcome to join them.
Families would like to come up with you. All right, here, let me come over here on this side. Yeah, you're good. All right, raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I, Beverly Berger, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will discharge truly, faithfully, civilly, and impartially, without prejudice or favor, all the duties of alderman to which I have been elected. I will abide by all federal, state, and local laws, and serve the citizens of Franklin to the best of my skills and abilities. Congratulations.
And Dana's family's, Alderman McClendon's family is certainly welcome to join him if you'd like.
Dad's thinking about it. Apple tree.
or affirm.
that I will discharge truly, faithfully, civilly, and impartially.
Say that again.
That I will discharge truly,
That I will discharge truly,
faithfully,
faithfully,
civilly,
civilly,
and impartially,
and impartially,
without prejudice or favor,
without prejudice or favor,
all the duties of alderman
all the duties of alderman
to which I have been elected.
to which I have been elected.
I will abide by all federal, state, and local laws,
I will abide by all federal, state, and local laws,
and serve the citizens of Franklin
and serve the citizens of
to
Franklin
the best of my skills and abilities.
to the best of my skills and abilities. Thank you.
All right, so we have Mr. Scott Speedy, Ward 3. So raise your right hand and please repeat after me. I, Scott Speedy,
I, Scott Speedy,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will discharge truly,
that I will discharge truly,
faithfully,
faithfully,
civilly,
civilly,
and impartially,
and impartially,
without prejudice or favor,
without prejudice or favor,
all the duties of alderman
all the duties of alderman
to which I have been elected.
to which I have been elected.
I will abide by all federal,
I will abide by all federal,
state, and local laws
state, and local laws,
and serve the citizens of Franklin
and serve the citizens of Franklin
to the best of my skills and abilities.
to the best of my skills and abilities.
Congratulations. While we're waiting for him to sign, as I was researching, I found a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King, and whereas it could apply to all of these wonderful people up here, I have known Miss Margaret Martin for a long time, and she is a lady that's very dear to my heart, and certainly someone that, as a woman and a professional woman, that I can emulate and have as a role model. So I want to read this as she's coming up, because it did make me think of Miss Martin when I read this from Dr. Luther King. Everyone can be great because anyone can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't even have to make your subject and verb agree. Although I'm in the business of using words, I really wish you would. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Margaret Martin,
I, Margaret Martin,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will discharge truly,
that I will discharge truly,
faithfully,
faithfully,
civilly,
civilly,
and impartially,
and impartially,
without prejudice or favor,
without prejudice or favor,
all the duties of alderman
all the duties of alderman
to which I have been elected.
to which I have been elected.
I will abide by all federal,
I will abide by all federal,
state, and local laws
state, and local laws,
and serve the citizens of Franklin
and serve the citizens of Franklin
to the best of my skills and abilities.
to the best of my skills and ability.
Congratulations.
You gotta make this official.
Somebody might contest it.
Thank you, Judge Hood. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Linnea, thanks for swearing in too. And congratulations to the newly elected ward alderman. We look forward to working with you, and it's time to get to work. So before we go to item 5, which is the election of the vice mayor pursuant to the city charter Article 4, Section 5, I would like to maybe take a brief moment and mention the service of our current vice mayor, Pearl Bransford. Pearl has done a great job. She's filled in for me on a number of occasions, a few where she had to speak, and she's represented me well and also the city well at those events. She's been very responsive to those occasions when we've needed her, and we certainly appreciate it, and I want to give her special recognition and a round of applause for what she's done. So
It was my pleasure to serve at the will of the board and of the mayor. I kissed a lot of babies.
A few pigs.
And a few pigs. At a fair.
Real pigs.
That's on the record now, too.
At the county fair.
So the floor is now open for election of the vice
Mr.
mayor.
I'd like to make a motion to recommend Alderman Margaret Martin for vice mayor.
Are there additional nominations? Alderman Peterson.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Clyde Barnhill.
Any other nominations?
Y'all should have worked this out a long time ago.
So is there a motion to close the nominations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of closing the nominations and move to voting as far as the next vice mayor? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All those in favor of Margaret Martin, please raise your hand. I see 3 votes for Alderman Martin. All those in favor of Clyde, raise your hand.
Can we vote for ourselves?
No? Well, I think you can. There's no reason you can't. Do you want me to break the tie?
You break the tie. That'll work.
Oh, wow. We are off and running now.
You know, I knew this was going to be a tough year. Well, I'm going.
You can flip a coin.
I won't flip a coin, and I enjoy serving with both Alderman Martin and Alderman Barnhill. The fact that Alderman Barnhill has been vice mayor recently, I think I would opt to honor Margaret Martin with my vote to serve as vice mayor for this upcoming year, since she has not had that position on this board. So, and if you saw the cheerfulness in the eyes of the alderman when I have to vote, you were exactly right.
I believe that's the 3rd time, Mayor, total.
Yeah. Well, I'd ask that Alderman Bransford, you exchange chairs somehow or other, however.
Eric, I change with you? Eric?
Eric has to go over here. Eric,
I need to be with the.
you're on my side. Our side. He gets to be on the ward alderman side now.
So now we're going to,
Those are ward people up there.
Yeah, that's right. We're the ward people.
I have to go here with my enlarges.
He has to hang out with the ward alderman this time.
we have a long series of appointments that I need to make, and first of all be for beer board. I'm going to continue to have Margaret Martin, vice mayor, Clyde Barnhill, and Alderman Bransford continue to serve on the beer board. So I'd entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Berger. All those, any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Next is appointment to Board of Mayor and Alderman Committees. I skipped over that one. For Budget and Finance, Ann Peterson, Clyde Barnhill, Pearl Bransford, and Scott Speedy. Capital Investment, Bev Berger, Brandy Blanton, Dana McClendon, and Margaret Martin. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next is appointment of Beverly Berger, Alderman Beverly Berger, to the Sustainability Commission. Motion, please.
Move for approval.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 9 is consideration of mayor's appointment of Alderman Ann Peterson to the Stormwater Appeals Board.
So moved. Second.
Seconded by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 10 is consideration of mayor's appointment of Alderman Scott Speedy to the Battlefield Preservation Commission.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by
Second.
Alderman
Second.
Berger, seconded by Alderman
It doesn't matter. Pick one.
Bransford.
BB.
I heard her first. Any discussion?
BB.
Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. All opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 11 is consideration of mayor's appointment of Alderman Pearl Bransford to the Williamson County Solid Waste Board.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 12 is consideration of mayor's appointment of Alderman Dana McClendon to the Franklin Housing Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Bransford.
It's coming hot.
He's on a roll. We need some water.
I'll get some in just a second. So any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 13.
Mayor, I think the vice mayor is responsible for water.
Here, I'll get it. I'll get it. Keep going. I'm sorry. You're fired, Mark.
Somebody needs to take care of him.
You know, I'm just wondering if I'd voted for Clyde, how it would have been.
You'd be thirsty.
Okay. So did we vote on the wastewater? I think we did, didn't we?
No.
Okay, all in favor of the appointment of Dana McClendon to the Williamson County Wastewater Authority? No, we haven't had a motion on that
I'll
one.
make a motion. Move for approval.
That we do it.
Okay,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Berger.
What
What's
was
in
in
that
that
water?
This place went
What
to.
is in that water?
What was in the
Any
cave?
Come on, senior,
discussion?
we're going.
Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Number 14, consideration of mayor's appointment, Anna Beth Hayes, of the Heritage Foundation liaison to the Battlefield Preservation Committee.
Move for approval.
Commission. Appropriate motion. Second by Alderman Bransford, second by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Item 15, I would ask, this is a Voice of the People Award, and who's going to make that
Mr. Mayor, I'll
presentation?
start off, but I'd like to ask Michael Walters-Young to come forward as well. About a year ago, the city participated and conducted a citizen survey. It is a survey instrument that's used by communities across the country. Over 500 communities of varying sizes perform a similar survey, and conducted that survey, and we received an award called the Voice of the People Award for excellence in education and enrichment. I'll let Michael fill in the rest from there.
So, as we reviewed the results of the survey with you, we told you that we rated very highly. In fact, we rated so highly that we ranked first out of all cities, the over 500 cities nationwide, and that was as large as Phoenix and Charlotte and King County, Washington, and on down and small to a small 300-person town in Florida that takes the National Citizen Survey in education and enrichment. The Voice of the People Awards are the only award given in local government based solely on community opinion, which means our citizens said that their opportunities to worship, to participate in civic-sponsored events, to participate in leisure activities, and to participate in learning opportunities were absolutely the best that they could imagine. And we are extremely proud, and Eric had the chance to accept this award at ICMA earlier this year to be part of a wonderful team and a wonderful community, and thank all of you for giving us the opportunity to conduct this citizen survey, and we're going to do it again and try to keep good things going here in Franklin.
Item 16 is recognition of Lisa Clayton, Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association Fellow Award recipient.
Lisa, please come forward. As she comes forward, Lisa is our Parks Director, and recently the city hosted the Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association Conference. It's the first time we've hosted it here in Franklin in about 15 years, and much to Lisa's surprise, her staff and her colleagues across the state had worked on something to recognize her with what is referred to as the Fellow Award. And it is rarely given, and it is the highest award given by the Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association. And it specifically recognizes outstanding contributions to the parks, recreation, and conservation field over and above their normal and expected duties. And Lisa's team and her work have been exemplary in terms of building our park system, building the many facets of our park system, and connecting it to our community. And that's work that continues every day and that Lisa embraces and her team embraces. But this Fellow Award is really a tribute to her leadership, her dedication, and her passion, and we're proud to serve with her. So congratulations, Lisa. You're not even going to say go South Carolina or something like that?
That's right.
Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body. They will be approved as recommended by committee or staff by one motion of the governing body. Tonight, we're considering items 28 through 43.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 18, this is a public hearing, consideration of Resolution 2017-61 to be entitled a resolution approving a development plan for Jordan Road PUD subdivision with one modification of standards for cul-de-sac length greater than 500 feet for the property located east of MacHatcher Parkway, north of Liberty Pike, 622 Jordan Road. Brad?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The applicant is proposing 10 single-family lots off of Jordan Road. The property is within the single-family residential design concept, which supports single-family detached residential lots. The proposed lot sizes are compatible with the surrounding development, and in general, the building placement and lot width is consistent with Envision Franklin. The applicant is also requesting one modification of standard. The applicant is requesting the modification of standard from section 5.10.81D to allow a cul-de-sac length over 500 feet. The applicant is proposing the linear feet to be 784 feet. To mitigate the impact of the longer dead-end street length, the applicant will install residential fire sprinkler systems in the homes along the proposed street. Staff recommends approval of the modification of standard and recommends favorably to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
And I have one, Mr. Matt Roberts, that wanted to speak regarding item 18. We'll give you a couple of minutes, Mr. Roberts.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Mr. Mayor and Alderman, my name is Matt Roberts, 3011 Coral Bell Lane. I'm here as the attorney for Mr. Elbert Fridley of 128 Winthrop Way. We were here previously at the work session to point out that Mr. Fridley, who has the property that borders the proposed lot number 10 in this development, was originally only supposed to receive a 5-foot buffer compared to approximately 55 feet for the rest of the neighbors. The developer has since changed the design a little bit to allow Mr. Fridley a 15-foot landscape buffer with evergreen trees. And while that is appreciated, there's still quite a difference between the protection that Mr. Fridley is given as opposed to the rest of the neighbors. Now, this is especially stark for Mr. Fridley in that his property does not face back to back like the rest of these other neighbors do. In fact, what his does is the back of his property faces the side of the house on lot 10, as well as its driveway, which is all pressed up against his backyard. Now, 15 feet is an improvement, and certainly the developer has been helpful in working with us on this. But to this point, Mr. Fridley still has concerns because while these other neighbors are getting a 20-foot buffer plus the 35 feet of open space, he is still only getting this 15-foot buffer and facing approximately double the amount of a house that the rest of them are. So Mr. Fridley has worked with the developer since August on this. He works for a developer. That's his job, and he understands the realities of residential development. The bottom line here is this may not actually be appropriate for a 10-lot development. It probably should be a 9-lot development. And too much of that burden of cramming in that extra lot is falling on Mr. Fridley personally. And quite frankly, Alderman, that is not fair to him. And we would ask that there be an opportunity, if that's still available, to amend this plan to create a more equitable and fair buffer for Mr. Fridley, something that is more in line with what the rest of the neighborhood is getting. And until that happens, we would ask that this board vote against this proposed development. Thank you.
I have no other speaker cards. Is there? Are you going to speak? Yes. Introduce yourself and then fill out a card.
I sure
And
will.
don't
Thank
do it
you.
again. We'll spank your wrist.
My name is Greg Gamble, and I represent the applicant proposing the development of Jordan Road PUD. We have been working very closely with Mr. Fridley. I've met with him on a number of occasions. Mr. Fridley does have a significant landscape buffer alongside this property line. We plan to enhance that. It is a deciduous buffer, but we plan to enhance that with evergreen landscape screen. At the Alderman work session, I presented an exhibit that shows this landscape material, and I have prepared and submitted to staff suggested language for an additional BOMA condition of approval that would state that the additional landscape plants shall be added per Exhibit A and shall be shown on the site plan. The 15-foot landscape easement shall be platted for Lot 10. There is no landscape buffer requirement as a part of the ordinance. This is something that we are doing to make sure that the tree canopy that's there today stays, and that the additional landscape material provided and further buffers the two lots adjacent to each other. But I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Is your landscaping evergreens?
They are, and we're not proposing low shrubs. We're proposing taller 8-foot or 6-foot, 8-foot trees that will block that view shed between the homes.
Alderman Berger.
Greg, I don't think I have a question for you, but would you point out here, so they'll know the lot that's there? Mr. Fridley's lot is right. Can you point that out behind on the back wall, please? And then you can point it, yeah.
Mr. Fridley's lot is right here?
Yeah, and you might want to point it out on one of these maps as well.
Sure. It's this lot here at the end of Winthrop Way.
I just want to say, I've talked to the neighbors on Winthrop, I've talked to the neighbors up and down Jordan. Well, actually, I've talked to the neighbors in Winthrop Way, I've talked to the neighbors at Richards Glen, and wanted to get their opinions on this. And
Maybe we need to get a motion
Oh,
before we
all right.
go into too much discussion.
A motion
here.
to approve,
Appropriate motion, second of
Right.
Alderman Barnhill.
certainly.
So we'll now go to the modification of standard,
Right,
which is the length of the cul-de-sac. So-
right. Do I speak to that, or is?
Well, I need a motion to get that.
I'm motion to approve the
Second.
modification of standards.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Okay, go ahead and speak to the modification of standard.
So, well, that's the cul-de-sac. I don't have an issue with that because there is a stub out on that road coming in for a future access, which would then shrink that cul-de-sac at some point in the future. So I honestly don't have a problem with that modification. I'll
Any
speak
other
to the
comments?
issue.
I'm sorry.
I'll
Any
speak.
other comments on the modification of standard? Ready to vote on the modification of standard? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Passes 7-1. Now we're ready to consider the entire motion with the modification of standard. Alderman Berger, you're recognized.
Okay, so I spoke with Mr. Fridley and Mr. Gamble, and we met, and then I went and walked that property in the back. He has an extensive yard in the back. It's not that his house is sitting on that property line. His house sits up closer to the round section of Winthrop Way at the end of that cul-de-sac. So he has a pretty deep backyard from his home to that new property for the site. The other thing is there is an extent, Mr. Gamble is correct, there's an extensive buffer there already, pretty extensive. In fact, I kept looking, going, wow, you know, in the wintertime, now that's true, deciduous, you know, plants. But if you're planting trees that are evergreen, that are going to be, what, 12, 15 feet high eventually, that gives another buffer which would take and have a green buffer even during the winter months. Honestly, I did not see the issue there. I don't even think Mr. Fridley would even see that other property, especially with the new buffer being put in. I don't see how he's even going to see their driveway or see that home. So I, after researching that and looking at that and walking that property, I will still support this.
Any other comments? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Next is item 19. This is a public hearing, consideration of initiating the annexation process and draft plan of services, Resolution 2017-60 for the annexation of 4107 to 4115 Clovercroft Road. Brad?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This property is contiguous to the city limits along the north and west side of the property line. The property is bordered to the north by the McKay's Mill PUD subdivision, and this property is within the Seward Hall character area, and the applicant's desire to develop this property as single-family residential uses would be supported by Envision Franklin. Staff recommends favorably to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen.
Is there any public comments? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 20, this is a public hearing. Consideration Resolution 2017-69 to be entitled Resolution Approving a Revised Development Plan for Galleria Commercial Complex PUD Subdivision Revision 2 with one modification of standard reduction of parking for the property located south of Moores Lane and east of Galleria Boulevard, 1704 Galleria Boulevard, McDonald's Restaurant site. Brad?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The applicant is requesting a development plan revision to ask for a modification of standard in the off-street parking amount. The applicant is proposing to enclose the play place and include seating within. The applicant has requested one modification of standard. The applicant is requesting to lower the off-street parking standard for commercial uses of 0.67 spaces per seat to 0.53 per seat. The applicant has provided a traffic study prepared by a consultant. Staff supports the requested modification of standard because the traffic study has shown that peak parking demand would be lower than the current available parking spaces, and that already completed striping has also helped the situation. Staff recommends approval of the modification of standard and of the main motion. Thank you.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there any comments? Seeing none, are you going to make a comment? Oh, seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion?
No one cares about parking at McDonald's.
Motion to approve.
Appropriate motion.
Second.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. We're ready then to take on the modification standard on the parking reduction. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Appropriate
Second.
motion, seconded by Alderman Berger. Any discussion on the modification standard? You ready to vote? All in favor?
I would just say that I met with the applicant, met with planning on this, and their model has changed a bit where so much of their business is through drive-through, and that is not going to really affect their need for additional reduction of parking.
Ready to vote on the modification standard? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. We're now ready to take up the entire motion. Any discussion on it? Seeing none, ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 21, this is a public hearing consideration ordinance 2017-49 to be entitled an ordinance to amend Chapter 3 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Franklin, Tennessee to add clinic as a permitted use in the light industrial zone.
This is a text amendment to add clinics as a permitted use in the light industrial zone. Changes in medical technology have warranted this text amendment due to some of the clinic uses being shared more with some light manufacturing and prosthetics and things like that. Staff recommends approval.
Does anyone wants to make any public comments? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 22, this consideration of ordinance 2017-51 to be entitled an ordinance to rezone .42 acres from Civic Institutional District to detached residential R3 district for the property located east of Cannon Street and south of Fairground Street at 221 Fairground Street, establishing public hearing for December the 12th, 2017.
So move.
Second.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 23, consider a professional services agreement with civil and environmental consultants for the Henpeck Lane Sanitary Sewer Extension Project in the amount not to exceed $60,000. Is there
Move for approval.
appropriate motion by Alderman Blanton?
Second.
Second by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 24, consideration of request for sanitary sewer availability approval for 4034 Clovercroft Road.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman
Second.
Bransford, seconded by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 25, consideration of change order number 1 to construction contract, City of Franklin contract number 2014-0259 with Jarrett Builders, Inc. for the Hunters Bend Elementary Safe Routes to School project for an increase in the cost of $352,076 and a time extension to January 31st, 2018. Is there a motion?
So move.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Barnhill, seconded by Alderman McClendon. Ready, comments? Seeing none, ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 26, consideration of legal representation with Miller and Martin P. LLC for Mack Hatcher condemnation lawsuits. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Peterson,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Vice Mayor Martin. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 27, consideration amendment number 2 to the professional services agreement, City of Franklin contract number 2016-0330 with Heathcote and Davis for the Holiday Court Pump Station Replacement Project in an amount not to exceed $11,909.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Blanton.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Berger.
Recuse myself.
Alderman Martin has recused herself from voting. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show it passes 7 with 1 recusal. I need a motion to go into executive
So
session.
moved.
Appropriate motion, second.
Second.
Alderman Barnhill, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And there is a set of keys at my desk. I don't know who they belong to.
Where's my?
I'm missing my gavel, so I have no idea where it is. I think it's down there. So let me call the board back to order after executive session. Are there any matters to be considered after executive session? Alderman McClendon.
Mayor, I have a motion that the board authorize city staff and outside counsel to sue W.L. Haley, Hobos, and Smith, Seckman, and Reed, as in their discretion they be deemed appropriate with respect to certain sewer pipe installation issues.
I'll second that.
Appropriate motion. Second. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alderman Martin, you recuse yourself. So it's passes seven with one recusal and no opposition.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
I remember that was the only one.